One sunny day, whilst Kwame was watching his favorite superhero cartoon hero named Superman, he decided to tell his grandfather all about it. But then his grandfather asked him a question. Have you ever heard of the hero named the Red Hunter? Kwame shook his head, saying no to his grandfather. His grandfather goes on to say that most of the heroes you are idolizing are fiction stories. But the story about the Red Hunter, it's really happened. So let me tell you about it. Long ago, in the heart of the West African Gold Coast, before Ghana earned her name, there was a small Ashanti village named Bekem. Hidden between thick forests and sacred rivers, Bekem thrived under the spiritual protection of the gods and the bravery of its warriors. But one year, during the blood moon, an ancient prophecy awakened. It was said, when the moon bleeds over the forest sky, a demon king will rise from the underworld to enslave men's hearts. Only the Red Hunter shall stand between the living and the curse of eternal night. For generations, it was just a story told by elders to scare disobedient children until it became real. The drums stopped suddenly. Birds scattered from trees and the earth trembled. Hunters returned from the forest pale-faced, their eyes wide with terror. The trees, they moved, one stammered. Something dark is walking in the forest. Bekiam's chief, Nana Oben, called for the village council. Rumors spread of villagers going missing at night, children hearing whispers in the wind, and warriors found with their hearts missing, faces frozen in fear. Priests consulted the gods, and the answer was clear. The demon king, Oben Sam Kwa, had returned. Among the villagers lived a quiet young orphan named Kojo. He was just 19, working as a blacksmith's apprentice. With a lean frame and fierce eyes, Kojo was known more for his silence than his strength. But he carried a secret. As a child, his parents were taken by Oben Sam Kwa's cursed beasts during a previous minor uprising. They died protecting him, leaving him with a mark, a red symbol burned into his chest, glowing faintly whenever evil drew near. An old woman, Yanyame, had raised him, always telling him, "Your blood is not ordinary. The gods chose you before you were born. When your time comes, don't run." That time had come. One night under the blood moon, Bekiem was attacked. Creatures made of shadow and smoke, tall as men but with jagged claws, descended upon the village. Screams tore through the air as warriors fought bravely, only to fall one by one. Nana Oben himself was dragged away into the forest, his cries echoing into the night. Kojo ran to help, grabbing an old spear and racing into the chaos. But he was just one boy among monsters. Just as he was about to be struck down by a creature, his chest burned. A burst of red energy exploded from him, throwing the beast backward. Everyone froze. The villagers saw the glowing red mark on Kojo's chest and fell to their knees, some in fear, others in hope. Yanyame whispered, "The Red Hunter has awakened." With the village in ruins and only a few survivors left, Kojo felt a fire awaken inside him. Guided by the priests, he began a sacred journey through the forest of trials, where only chosen warriors walked. No one had survived the full journey in generations. There he would meet the ancestral guardians, spirits of fallen warriors who trained him in ancient combat, the spear, the bow, and the sacred red fire that lived in his blood. Every night he faced illusions of fear, his parents dying, villagers screaming, and himself failing. Each time, he broke through the visions with sheer will and growing power. On the seventh day, he emerged from the forest. His body was covered in crimson markings, his eyes glowed like hot coals, and he carried two weapons, a blood-tipped spear and a red bow carved from the heart of the spirit tree. He was no longer just Kojo, he was the Red Hunter. With his newfound power, the Red Hunter began liberating nearby villages under Obon Sam Kwa's terror. Word of his arrival spread like wildfire. Some called him a ghost, others believed he was the son of a god. Wherever he went, he left behind trails of ash, broken chains, and rescued prisoners. Survivors joined him, hunters, warriors, and even those who once ran in fear. Together they became the Red Legion, but Kojo didn't fight for glory. His heart was heavy with guilt for the lives he couldn't save in Bekiem. He carried the weight of every fallen soul, every child taken, every elder silenced.
At night, alone under the stars, he cried silently. Within the Red Legion was a warrior named Kweku, tall, scarred, and once the champion of a fallen town. Jealous of Kojo's growing power and love from the people, Kweku secretly conspired with Obon Samkwa to betray the Red Legion. During a full moon raid on one of the demon strongholds, Kweku led the Red Hunter into a trap. Dozens of Kojo's men were killed. His closest friend, Ibo, died shielding him from a poisoned blade. Kojo was captured and dragged into the Black Caves, the realm of Obon Samkwa. For 3 days he was tortured, his power sealed, his mind broken. But the demon made one mistake. He let Kojo hear the screams of another prisoner. It was Nana Oben, still alive, refusing to break, chanting ancient blessings to weaken the Demon King. Kojo, fueled by pain and fury, broke his chains with a scream that shook the underworld. His markings exploded with red flame. He didn't run. Kojo escaped the Black Caves, barely alive. Wounded and bleeding, he returned to the Legion's hideout, where only half his forces remained. Kweku had tried to claim leadership, but upon Kojo's return, bloodied, silent, and eyes burning with rage, Kweku's lies collapsed. The Red Hunter challenged him to a duel of truth. In front of the entire Legion, they fought. Spear clashed against blade, power against pride. But Kojo fought not just for revenge, he fought for every soul Kweku's betrayal cost. In the end, Kojo disarmed him and looked into his eyes. "I won't kill you," he said, "the spirits will judge you." And with that, he banished Kweku to the Silent Marshes, where traitors were never heard from again. The time came for the final battle. Obon Samkwa had grown stronger, feeding off fear and souls. His fortress rose from the depths of the Ashanti shadows, a black spire pulsing with dark energy. The Red Legion, now 1,000 strong, marched behind Kojo. But even with his power, Kojo knew the battle would cost dearly. The assault began at dawn. The sky turned black. The earth cracked. Demons poured from the walls like rivers of death. Kojo fought like a man possessed, each strike blazing with ancestral fire. Arrows lit the sky. War drums thundered. He cut down beasts, climbed the demon walls, and made his way into the heart of the spire. There, he faced Obon Samkwa. The Demon King was massive, horned, red-eyed, with a voice like 1,000 screams. "You are but a child playing warrior," it growled. "I am fear, I am darkness." Kojo stood tall, "And I am the end of you." Their battle shattered the walls of the fortress. Red fire clashed with black shadows. They fought in the air, on walls, through storms. In the final moment, Kojo plunged his spear into the demon's heart. "I don't fight for gods or glory," he said. "I fight so children sleep in peace." With a scream that shook the heavens, Obon Samkwa burst into dust. The battlefield was quiet. The Red Legion stood victorious, but many had fallen. Smoke rose, and the land wept for its sons and daughters. Kojo limped through the ruins, covered in blood, not all of it his own. He carried Nana Oben's body from the caves and buried him under the sacred tree of Bekiem. Yanyame, now old and blind, met him at the village gates. "You have done what even the gods feared to attempt," she said. Kojo knelt, not as a hero, but as a son of the land. The Red Hunter disappeared after that. Some say he walked into the spirit forest and became one with the ancestors. Others say he still walks among the people, reborn in every warrior who dares stand against evil. In the hills of Ashanti, mothers still tell stories of the Red Hunter, of his fire, of his tears, of the boy who never ran. And when the blood moon rises again, and whispers crawl through the trees, every child knows, so long as the Red Hunter lives in our hearts, no demon shall ever rule our land again. Epilogue, a hero from Ghana. Though erased from written history by time and colonizers, the legend of the Red Hunter is preserved in drum rhythms, dances, and the wind between the trees. A hero born, not from power, but from pain. A symbol of courage, fear, and the unbreakable will of a boy who became Ghana's forgotten protector. The end. Subscribe to watch more videos like this.